that we can help others in our community, our friends, our neighbors, our coworkers. That through that right arm, you can use it as a tool, that we can gain access as friendship and relationships, that we can point the sin sick soul to you. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. When you look at herbs, how many of y'all use herbs? Okay. There's different ways you can use herbs. You can use it as a bulk herb, which most of us are used to, where you can use it as teas, as poultices, as fomentations, as enemas, tea enemas. You can use it in capsules, where you grind it up and put it in capsules. You can take and you can make an extract out of it. I don't like the tinctures. It has alcohol. But you can make extracts with it. And extracts are easy to make. You can make them at home. A lot more economical to make extracts at home. The extracts are stronger than the teas. They'll last longer than the teas. Extracts will last, a year and a half, 2 years. And so, how many of y'all put food up? Do you know what I mean by put food up? Okay. Canning and freezing and that kind of thing. Do anybody can freeze? Okay, y'all need a class on canning and freezing. But if we grow our herbs or collect our herbs, they're going to last out there 6 months to a year where they're potent, but they'll start losing their potency. So to keep them longer, you can make an extract out of those herbs. And that then will last a year and a half, 2 years. And it's also smaller, more, you don't have to make a tea. You just, take several mLs or teaspoon or whatever and put it in a glass or whatever and take that. And then there's something called essential oils. Who's ever used essential oils? Okay. Essential oils are literally herbs on steroids. They are powerful. If you want to take and use, say, peppermint, 1 drop of peppermint essential oil, you would have to drink 28 cups of peppermint tea. Isn't that amazing? And the essential oil will last a lot longer. So, and that's what we're going to talk about this afternoon is essential oils. When I started working with herbs, I was a little afraid of essential oils. New Agers use essential oils. Is that kind of mystical or whatever? And so I just kind of stayed away because I didn't know about it. And then I started researching, once I had time, essential oils, and found out it was just a super powerful herb. Very, very effective. The problem with essential oils is there's not all the herbs in essential oils. Like at work, I've got over 200 herbs that are just the bulk herbs. Over 200. And then I have extracts, and then I've got our essential oils. I wish that we had essential oil of wild lettuce. Wild lettuce is my favorite for pain. It's an excellent painkiller. Or let's say Genema silvestri for a person whose pancreas is really giving them a problem, and we want to address that pancreatitis or that type 1, type 2 diabetes. I could use Genema silvestri as an essential oil. Super powerful. But we don't see as many essential oils in the extracts as we do the others. There's thousands of herbs out there. So let's talk about essential oils. I don't know if we need a stronger battery in here or I might just be pointing at the wrong place. Oh, did you take that piece out of I took that piece out of the computer.
It's a good illustration right here.
There you go. Have y'all ever been up into Appalachia? Have y'all been to Appalachia? That's where I live. That's Appalachia. That's the old homes of Appalachia. You still see them today. You don't find many people living in homes like that, but there are still people living in homes that look like that. Yeah. There we go. Here we go. The history of essential oils. Fragrant plants have been used in healing practices for thousands of years. This is according to the National Institute of Health. How many of y'all know who NIH is? Okay. Fragrant plants have been used in healing practices for thousands of years. Many cultures, including ancient China, India, and Egypt. There we go. There are over 200 references to aromatics, incense, and ointments throughout the Old and New Testament of the Bible. Frankincense, myrrh, hyssop, cinnamon, cassia, rosemary, spikenard. All were used for anointing and healing the sick. What are essential oils? The scented liquid taken from certain plants using steam or pressure. Essential oils contain the natural chemicals that give the plants its essence, specific odor, and flavor. Essential oils are used in perfumes, food flavoring, medicinal, and aromatherapy. Essential oils, also known as volatile oils, are the basic materials of aromatherapy. They represent the fragrant essence found in many plants. These essential oils are made in special plant cells, often under the surface of the leaf, bark, or peel, using energy from the sun and elements from the air, soil, and water. I'm still reading from National Institute of Health. When essences are extracted from plants in natural ways, they become essential oils. They may be distilled with steam and or water, or mechanically pressed. And we'll talk about that. We won't be able to go through a lot of essential oils just based on time today, but we should be able to see some difference there. Oils that are made with chemical processes are not considered true essential oils. And I'll read that one again. Oils that are not made with chemical processes are not considered true essential oils. There are many essential oils used in aromatherapy. Each type of essential oil has a different chemical composition that affects how it smells, how it is absorbed, and how it is used in the body. Even the oils from a variety of plants within the same species may have chemical compositions different from each other. The same applies to that are grown or harvested in different ways or locations. This is very important. When you look at essential oils, I used to think all essential oils are the same. That's like saying all tomatoes are the same. Who likes tomatoes? Most of us. Is there a difference in tomatoes? When it's grown? Where it's grown? How about when it's picked? Now, y'all, we'll ask Mary Lou a question. What is my favorite sandwich? Tomato sandwich. So that's my favorite dinner being lunch. If she can fix me Mater sandwiches, every day of the week. Now, Sabbath I enjoy something different, but that's my favorite meal for dinners, a Mater sandwich. But let's say it's a green tomato. Is it going to taste the same? Let's say if it's squished, and is it going to be as good? How many of y'all have raised hay? Anybody ever worked in the hayfield? Okay. So you grow hay, and it comes time to cut it. But what if you decide you want to go on vacation 2 weeks earlier? Or maybe 2 weeks, or you want to go on vacation right when it's ready and you won't be back for 2 weeks. Or you've got a 2-week rain. And you have to wait 2 weeks to cut it. Is it going to be as nutritious? Not at all. The same thing is true with food, whether it's a tomato or whether it is an essential oil. You want it where it has the highest nutrient. There's two things that you want to look at. One is, where is it grown? Who knows what kudzu is? Y'all live in Georgia? Kudzu? Kudzu? You're in the city too much. Okay. Kudzu is a plant that grows in July here in Georgia, a foot a day. The roots grow 30 to 50 feet deep. It's extreme. Nutritious. Yes. We're live, so don't tell too many people. So when food runs out, just go get you some kudzu.
You want to make sure you get it naturally in the wild, because a lot of times we spray pesticides to kill that stuff.
That's correct. You want to don't get it on the side of the road because they may have sprayed something. But go somewhere where there's kudzu. Mary Lou's made kudzu lasagna instead of spinach lasagna. In Japan and China, let's say that you're making dinner today, the noon meal, so you get up in the morning. Yeah, you can cook kudzu root like potato. You can take we're not talking about kudzu today, we're talking about essential oils, but anyway. You take the kudzu, the most distal foot, and you strip off the little bark of it, cut it off, put it in water, and you can boil it. And you can read where in China they will boil that and use it as a noodle. I have a friend, y'all know Sebastian Tay. Sebastian's told me how they use it in China. But the best place in the world to grow kudzu is the southeast United States, and probably Georgia is probably the best. I mean, it grows so good here. Georgia, Carolina.
Can you eat it if it's in your backyard? I have a whole lot in my backyard.
You have a lot in your backyard? I'm surprised it hadn't taken over your house. Okay, can you eat it?
I don't know.
Yes, you can. You haven't sprayed it. Get you some books on kudzu and learn. The Asians actually make fun of us because it grows the best here, and we're not even using it. If you want to get rid of gonorrhea in China, if you want to get rid of tuberculosis in China, they will feed you a kudzu gruel out of the root for about 30 days. It will wipe out disease. Yes. And the plain people, you know what plain people are? You know, like the Mennonites and those guys, Amish. In Pennsylvania, the plain people are now growing kudzu and feeding it to their cows because it's less prone to have problems with drought, like your hay is. And the cows do well on it. I don't think they can bale that stuff, but... So what I'm trying to say is you want to get an essential oil, the herb, where it grows the best in the world. So if they ever made kudzu essential oil, kudzu essential oil, you want it from Georgia or the southeast. Yes. That's right. It was used for erosion. Yes. That's it. Yes. I worked a wreck one day, and a vehicle had gone off the side of the road, down off the side of the bank, sheared off a power pole, went down in, and we were there, and this man who owns the property is just upset. He says, "My truck, did you hit my truck?" And we're looking around. "I don't see your truck." And we said, "Where's your truck?" He goes, "It's in there." It was in what you're looking at here. You know what I'm talking about. Kudzu will overgrow. And so the sheriff's officer, who's from our area, just an old country fella, he says, "Oh, you parked your truck in there?" Not sarcastic, but you parked your truck in the kudzu? Yeah. Okay. No, it's not hurt. You're okay. And we went on. But kudzu is extremely nutritious. But what I'm trying to talk about here is you want to get an essential oil that is grown in the place in the world that it grows the best. You don't want kudzu they tried to grow it in northern China, or even in Korea, or even in China or Japan, because the best kudzu comes from the southeast United States and with the most nutrition. So there's two things. You want essential oils that are grown where it grows the best, and you want it harvested when it is at its highest nutrition, such as picking that tomato when it is just ready to slice and put on that piece of bread. You know what I'm talking about. There are countries that grow herbs, or they use essential from trees or whatever, where they will get that herb in third world countries before it is ready. Kind of like picking green tomatoes. You know, if you're going to ship tomatoes from here to California, you pick it green with maybe a little red stripe in it, but it is not the most nutritious. It's like cutting your hay 2 weeks early. Well, some countries, especially in the Amazon, they will go and harvest it early. People aren't going to know. Instead of working this long, you only have to work this long and get your money. So you want to find an essential oil company that insists on it being grown, harvested at peak nutrition. Peak nutrition. It's also best that you get an essential oil company that uses a process called 1 degree. Who's ever used 1 degree bread? 1 degree bread is out of Canada. It's in Vancouver. It's an Adventist company. And literally you can go buy your bread, you can buy your cereal and turn it over on the cereal box and see pictures of the growers. Because if I buy my grain from you that's in that bread, it's only between me and you. And so I'm going there, I'm looking at your farm, I'm looking at your soil, I'm looking at what you're spraying on it, I look how long you're growing it. There's no middleman in between. You want an essential oil company that does that. That you're not just out there saying, Peppermint, we'll put a bid in on this 1,000 barrels or 100 barrels or whatever of peppermint, and who knows where it came from. Laboratory studies and animal studies have shown that certain essential oils have antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, calming, and energizing effects. Lavender and tea tree essential oils have been found to have some hormonal-like effects. Again, we're looking at National Institute of Health. Studies in animals show sedative and stimulant effects of specific essential oils, as well as positive effects on behavior and the immune system. Safety testing on essential oils shows very few side effects or risk when they are used as directed. Allergic reactions and skin irritations may occur in aromatherapies or in patients, especially when essential oils are in contact with the skin for long periods of time. And let me go cover something here, because I'm not going to go through terminology. It'd take an hour for me to go through terminology. And when you take it, who uses essential oils? Okay, what do you use?
What do I use? Peppermint, lavender, and what other oils I use with it, like coconut oil.
Okay, so you're using you're blending it with something. If you just took the peppermint and put it on your skin by itself, it is called neat. N-E-A-T. So if someone says you can use that neat, it means it's not messy. It just means you put it straight on there. There's benefits of using essential oils neat, but there's disadvantages of using essential oils neat. if she put that essential oil on that area, you have about a 72 to 73% evaporation rate. Good oils are expensive. Frankincense, Melissa, expensive. Helichrysum, expensive. And so you don't want it just evaporating off, so you mix it with a carrier oil like fractionated coconut oil. And then you can put it on there. 1, you don't have the evaporation. 2, it mixes further. 3, if it's a hot oil, like oil of oregano or even peppermint, it doesn't burn as much. And so you'll see when we go through these, some can be used neat, or you can mix it with you can use it with a carrier oil. And so that's what it's talking about there. Okay, sun sensitivity may develop when citrus or other essential oils are applied to the skin before sun exposure. So your citrus oils, your orange, your tangerine, your lemon, your lime, don't put it on, then go out in the sun. It can cause some irritation issues, some for longer than others. Are all essential oils equal? Different distillation or extraction processes can have dramatic effects on their chemistry and medicinal actions. So you want a very good quality of an essential oil. Even in my bulk herbs that I have over 200 herbs, right now I'm out of an herb that is very, very good for helping a specific issue, but it's been back ordered. Why? It's that time of year. It's like trying to, like at the end of the year, let's say you're trying to get apples in, May. Apples start growing in my area around July, some June, but mostly July. And so you've gone past, and so it's like right now. Does okra grow right now? No. And so you got to have okra that was grown last year, and they froze and put up. So sometimes you don't have herbs that are available still because we just used them all in that crop. And you have to wait till next season. There are companies that have a high quality QA, high quality assurance. And so when you get it, you want to make sure it smells right, it tastes right, it looks right. It's very, very potent. And so there's some oil companies, herb companies, that you get your red clover and it's brown. I don't want brown red clover. I want that pretty red clover. It's going to be a lot more nutritional. And the same thing's true with essential oils. How are essential oils applied? In direct inhalation, or applying essential oils to the skin. Also, it can be used internally. But you notice NIH didn't talk about it here because most essential oil companies tell you not to use their oils internally. Why?
They don't want that liability.
They may not want the liability, but also it could be because it's not pure. Let's look at helichrysum. Helichrysum is a very expensive herb in just 5 ml. I have another company that has an ounce of helichrysum, an ounce, which is much more, 30 ml versus 5 ml, and it is a third the cost. And so I asked my salesperson, or actually it was one of the vice presidents of the company. I said, how is it so inexpensive? He says, well, we're good at keeping prices down, Okay. Is it pure helichrysum? Oh, yes, it's pure helichrysum. Is there anything else in there? What percentage of that ounce bottle is helichrysum? 10%. What's the other 90%? Stuff you don't want to take stuff internally. So when you're looking for an essential oil, I say you want 100% essential oil. Where it's 100% lavender, frankincense, whatever, and it's only frankincense, lavender, whatever in there, not something else. That is why so many oil companies say, oh, it's not safe to use internally. Yes, it could be a liability, but the other is they got other stuff mixed with it. And so that's why NIH hasn't even listed it as an internal product, because most of the stuff out there, I wouldn't put it inside me because I don't know what it is. How are essential oils applied? Topical, that's the English model. Inhaled, the German model. Ingested, which is the French model. So it's the French that use it by mouth, P-O. Topical, diluted, mixed with an oil, fractionated appears to be the best, and then applied directly to the skin. Undiluted, neat, as we talked about, directly applied to the skin with no oil. Stronger concentration, so it's a therapeutic grade, it's stronger, but you've got that dilution issue. In some oils you can't put neat because it'll burn you, like oregano. And also in a fomentation. You can make a fomentation, like we do hot and cold fomentations. Well, you can make a fomentation instead of a fomentation, herbal tea fomentation. You can actually use a herbal essential oil fomentation. Inhalation, diffused into the air by a diffuser or pot of water through an aromatic effect. And probably y'all, who's ever used eucalyptus? Yeah. Lavender. Yeah. My son uses lavender on my grandson in a diffuser. Helps him sleep at night. Okay, let's go to what, 49 was it? We're going to skip these definitions because they're very boring, and they'll take about an hour to go through them. But very important to learn. You want to take time and learn those definitions, because if you can know what that essential oil does, then you can take a condition that has that problem. Let's say it's an essential oil that is anti-tumor or anti-cancer. What could you use it on? Tumors and cancers. Or what if it's a diuretic? It has a diuretic effect. Well, you can use it as a diuretic. Okay, who's this lady? Okay, what has she just done? Spikenard. And how much spikenard did Mary use? How much did the bottle weigh? A year's wages. The Bible says that she put a pound of spikenard. Okay, y'all who are into essential oils, let's say that you have lavender or eucalyptus. Now, how big is your bottles? Maybe an ounce bottle? Okay. And you took that bottle and broke it, and that ounce would it smell up the room? Okay. How much volume is a pound of fluid if it's normal viscosity? 16 ounces. That's right. An ounce is a pound as the world is round. Remember that one? So, 16 times that bottle that you put on there, 16 ounces, she broke and put in that room. Do you think that room smelled? Yeah, it smelled. It really smelled. Yeah. Then Mary took a pound of ointment of spikenard, very costly, a year's wage, and anointed the feet of Jesus and wiped his feet with her hair, and the house was filled with the odor of the ointment. Absolutely it was. An ounce of it, a pint of this stuff. John 12:3. Spikenard. The extract. Now, we're going to get into, I am not a good reader, so there might be some words I might need your help on. I'm a terrible reader. Okay, spikenard. Extraction method, steam distillation from rhizomes, and rhizomes are like roots, but a little different. Common application methods can be applied neat, just straight, as Mary did. She applied it neat. It can be diffused. How many of y'all have diffusers? Okay, you can put it in a diffuser where it's goes and puts it throughout the room, or it can be inhaled, or you can inhale the aroma directly. How many of y'all have ever taken a little eucalyptus thing and stuck it in your inhaler and breathed it in. Well, that's directly.
What if you put it on, I put my lavender on like a wash rag.
Yes,
And it makes me sleep.
yes, absolutely. And if you have an inhaler and it runs out, I learned this from a physical therapist many years ago. He was a physical therapist. He actually worked up at Battle Creek. He learned massage, and he was a hydrotherapist before he went to Loma Linda and got his PT. But what he would do is he would take his inhaler, take a eucalyptus, draw it up in a syringe, and then squirt it, fill that little piece of cotton in that inhaler, and he'd just keep reusing it where you could put, whatever, and breathe it. Yes, or many times I put it on a napkin or something, or a paper towel, and breathe the eucalyptus. Spikenard, the top properties, it's antibacterial. Now, is that a good thing? Yes. It kills bacteria. It's antifungal, anti-inflammatory, antispasmodic. It's a deodorant, a laxative, so it can calm a person down. It's a sedative. It's also a tonic. Common primary uses. It's good for aging or preventing aging. It's good for anxiety, candida, cellulite, convulsions, depression, detoxing. It's a diuretic. Remember what a diuretic? When a person, what's a drug that we use for diuretic? Lasix, dandelion. Right, I like dandelion. That's my favorite herb as a diuretic. So it's a diuretic. It's good for emotions. It's good for flatulence, gas. It's good for indigestion. Anybody have problems with indigestion? You can use Spikenard. Insomnia, irritated skin, menstrual issues. How about muscle spasms? Here's something that I don't want to do. When we did drugs, we would mask and we would manage, and we would not get to root cause. I don't want to mask and manage with an essential oil. I want to find out, why are we have problems with muscle spasms? Is it magnesium deficiency? Is it dehydration? Is it a potassium deficiency? Is it an iron deficiency? Is it something with calcium deficiency? Let's get to that root cause. Yes, if it's an immediate, acute situation, you could use the Spikenard for muscle spasm, but don't just use it for muscle spasms and keep going. You want to find that root cause. If they're deficient in magnesium, they need magnesium, because the heart needs magnesium, the muscles need magnesium. It's good for it's a good vasodilator. You want the magnesium. Or if they're dehydrated and it's causing muscle spasms, there's many reasons we need water. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. There's people who use essential oils, and that's all they address. That's all they have in their toolbox. If I'm going to work on my car, but the only tools I have are carpentry tools, am I going to do a good job? No. I go and borrow Roy's, his his chop saw. Is that going to take care of where I need a wrench to take my spark plug out? So God has given us multi-tools, just like y'all ladies. You've got tools in the kitchen. You got tools for cleaning the house. You got tools for sewing. Us guys, we got tools to fix the plumbing. We got tools to fix the car. We got tools to fix carpentry stuff. We got tools for painting. You got plumbing tools. This is one of the tools that God has given us, but it's not the only tool. And there are people who do essential oils, and that's the only tools that they use. You got to use all 8 laws of health. That's a given, y'all. I shouldn't have to say that at this church, because I say it every time I come. But you've got to do all 8 laws of health, and then this is one of the tools that we use within herbs. But then there may be other issues that you have to use also. It's a perfume. It's good for pink eye, rashes, seizures, stress, tension, and also ulcers. Safety. It's safe for using neat, and they have not found any contraindications out there as long as you use it within the scope of what you're supposed to use it. Lavender. Who's used lavender? Lavender is the most used essential oil in the world. Around the world, lavender is the most used essential oil. Y'all ladies like that stuff. Us guys, not as much a lavender fan as y'all ladies are, but I usually sell more lavender to ladies. Extraction method, steam distilled from the flowering top, so it's from a specific part. Common applications can be applied neat, again straight to the skin. It's diffused or inhaled aromately. You can use lavender orally. Again, to use lavender orally, you better use one that's 100% lavender. Find you a company that does 100%. Find a company that uses 1 degree. They buy it straight from the growers. It's Sabbath. There are, yes. Talk to me later. Okay. So you can use it orally. Also, you can flavor it in your food and beverages. So I have people who use an essential oil, and we're not going to talk about it today, but what is one of the first things inspiration tells us we're supposed to do when we get up in the morning? Pray, but drink a glass of warm water with lemon. I have people, it's a lot more economical, and they find significant benefit in using lemon essential oil. It does the same properties. Yes, that's right. And so they'll put 1 or 2 drops. And so you figure you've got a 250 ml bottle, which is 15 milliliters. You're using 1 drop. That bottle is going to last 250 days. So as you look at your cost ratio there, that's going to last a long time. Remember I said it's herbs and fruits on steroids. It's super powerful. So lavender, you can put it in orally, or you can flavor foods and beverages with it. It's an analgesic. It's an anticoagulant. What's that mean? Yes. So it's what do we use as anticoagulants? Coumadin, which is also called warfarin. Some people, rat poison. Some people may use aspirin. Well, lavender is an anticoagulant. It's an anticonvulsant, antidepressant. You ever have anybody you work with or know that has depression? You can use lavender. It's an antidepressant. The neat thing is you can use it as needed. The essential oil, I'll get to lavender. Well, I'll talk about it now. There are 2 oils that we'll use, and hopefully I'll get to the other one. It's called Vetiver. Vetiver is super, super powerful. I've had 2 ladies as of late who've come in with anxiety about to explode. The worst I've ever seen, probably, anxiety-wise. Different times, and I went up to the first lady who I did not know, and I went up to her and I said, "Can I help you?" I was helping probably about 3 people over here, but I could tell she was not doing good. And I said, "Can I help you?" She says, "My anxiety," she can hardly talk. She says, "My anxiety is so bad, can you help me?" And so I said, "I'll be right back." So I went back, and out of Mary Lou's essential oils, I got a bottle of lavender, and I got a bottle of vetiver. I went up to her and I said, and this is so neat. Try taking a pharmaceutical. Won't be long, you'll be a physician. And the patient goes, no, I don't want to do drugs. You say, no problem. Let me take this for you. I'll take it and then I'll show you it's okay. I'll take this chemotherapy drug. You know, it won't be a problem. No way are you going to take that chemotherapy drug. Or whatever kind of drug, you know. But this is the cool thing about God's stuff. If they're scared about hydrotherapy, you can show them how to do a foot bath with your foot. Or a fomentation or whatever. So I said, okay. She didn't know me. I didn't know her. She was about to explode. I said, try this. And so I put 1 drop of lavender. I put 1 drop of vetiver right where you feel your pulse. Now, the reason I put it there, can you see your blood vessel right there? I mean, it is right there. And essential oils transdermally can go into your blood very fast. And I know where you can see right where that blood vessel is. So it's not like you're putting it, well, you're going to get it there very quickly. And 1 drop of each. Together. So I put 1 drop. Now, how many times is that bottle of lavender going to last? 250 applications. The vetiver, 250 anxiety events. 1 of that one, 1 of the other one. I had them rub the 2 together. Rub it right here on the carotid. Right here on the carotid where it's going to go in transdermally to go to the brain. And then breathe it. When you breathe something, I mean it gets in fast to your body. Less than 2 minutes. Well, what happened was I said, okay, I got to help these ladies. I'll be right back. So I go over and I start finishing helping these ladies who had been waiting on me. In less than 2 minutes, Walter, my son, was finished with what he was doing. And you know how, dads, you can give your son the message without saying anything, like, quick, help this person? I gave him the message. He was right there. And he said, ma'am, can I help you? And I heard him talking to this different lady. And I turned around, and I mean, she was cool as a cucumber. Calm. And she goes, I can't believe this. And she said, what happened? She said, I am totally calm. And so I finished with those ladies, came over and was with Walter talking to her. And because I was the first one that she had met, and so developed that little rapport, she says, I have 2 daughters that have the same problem. Then I had a lady come in that we've known for years. But she came in shaking like a little chihuahua that was freezing or scared to death. I mean, she was just literally shaking. And I said, so-and-so, what's wrong? And she says, I mean, she could hardly talk. I said, just a minute. And so I went back and did the exact same thing. But I didn't put it on me first because we know each other. I said, she trusts me. I said, let me put this on. So she stuck her hand out and I did it. And again, less than 2 minutes. It's that fast. This lady who I've known for years, she says, Walt, what did you just do? I'm fine now. That fast, the anxiety was gone. Just this week, I had a man come in. It was yesterday. A man comes in and he has Parkinson's. And literally in just that short period of time, he was calmed down. And his hands were not shaking. His wife could not believe it. Yes, right. I had a guy, I was down in Pikeville, Tennessee, or up in Pikeville, Tennessee from here, speaking. And I had a man who's a Vietnam vet. And he was taking my class just from the community. And he started having a PTSD event. His left eye was tremoring. I mean, a lot of this can be kind of subjective, you know, how a person feels. But when you have a person, their eye, or they're trembling, but his eye is just and this eye's not doing it. And then less than 5 minutes on him, I don't know how quick it took, but less than 5 minutes he comes back up to me. His eye is not doing this real fast twitching thing. He says, I'm totally calm. The PTSD was gone. That is the medicine that God has given us. God's pharmacy, as Thomas Jackson calls it, it starts with an F, not a P. Right? Farm, like what we get off our farm. But lavender is really, really good. It's antidepressive, anti-emetic. That's if you're feeling nauseous. It's antifungal. It's an antihistamine. So what's that good for? Allergies, yeah. Anti-infectious, anti-inflammatory. So what's that good for? Arthritis, maybe, yeah. You see how you can use it? It's an antimicrobial, anti-mutagenic. What's that? Women's problems. Yes. Okay, what's the next one? Antiparasitic. Okay, so it's good for parasites. Okay, the next one. It's anti-rheumatic. What's that one? What you just, arthritis? It's an antiseptic, antispasmodic, antitoxic, antitumoral. Tumoral. What do you think? Antitumoral. Yes. Isn't it broad? Yes. Do y'all know Dr. George Fletches? Y'all need to have him come here. He would be very good. Dr. Fletches uses lavender on women who have breast cancer. And he showed me an NIH article of where they looked at the chemical in lavender, and it's the same chemical used for that's used for breast cancer as a pharmaceutical. So let's say the lady has left breast cancer. He liberally puts the lavender on there, but he does it on both breasts 4 times a day. He's now experimenting. He's been doing it neat all this time. He's now experimenting doing it with another product that he's mixing. It's astringent. It's calming. It's cardiotonic. What's that? Cardiotonic. Means it's good for the heart. It's carminative, cytophylactic. It's a deodorant, a disinfectant, oh boy. I have a hard time with that one. I'm sorry, this is the one that's the female problems. I misspoke. This is the one with the female problem. Okay, hypotensive. Now what's hypotensive? Right. Insecticidal. What do you think about insecticidal? It's good for bugs. Yeah, people use it on their dogs for fleas, for ticks. It's a nervine. Neurotonic. So what's that mean? Calm the nerves. Regenerative, relaxing, rubefacient, sedative, tonic, vermicidal, vermifuge. You're right. It does a lot of stuff, doesn't it? Isn't that cool? Yeah. For what? Claustrophobic? I would try it. It'd probably be good. I have claustrophobia. It'd be interesting what it would do. Yes. I don't do caves too well. I don't like sheets on me and people get on me. I'm claustrophobic. Yeah. So it'd be interesting to try. It's being calmative. Now, here's what you use it for. Those were just the actions. Those were just the actions. Okay, this is what you use it for. It calms allergies, anxiety, appetite loss, arrhythmias. What's arrhythmias? Irregular heartbeats. Atherosclerosis. What's atherosclerosis? Clogged arteries. Yeah. Arteriosclerosis is hardening of the arteries. It's good for bites, stings, blisters, boils, soothes the breast, burns, cancer. There's your cancer thing that Dr. Fletcher talks about. Chicken pox. It helps with concentration, convulsions, dandruff, depression, diabetic sores, diaper rash. It's a diuretic, exhaustion, fevers, gangrene, gas or flagellants. It's good for repelling gnats. It works well for repelling gnats. And I know Georgia's got your gnats. Grief or sorrow, dry hair, fragile fingernails, hair loss, hay fever, herpes simplex, hyperactivity. So if you got a little young'un who's a little hyperactive, put a little lavender on them. That can help calm them down. Impetigo, inflammation, insomnia. We use it a lot for insomnia. Itching. jet lag, dry lips, mastitis, menopause, mental stress, mood swings. It's a mosquito repellent, muscular paralysis, pain, Parkinson's disease, phlebitis, physical stress, poison ivy, poison oak, post-labor, postpartum depression. Postpartum depression, it appears that a big part of postpartum depression is the estrogen level not working right. And so you want to address that estrogen. That's where you want to go there. Rashes, relaxation, rheumatoid arthritis, sedatives, seizures, dry skin, sensitive skin, skin ulcers, sleep, stress, stretch marks, sunburn. It's very, very good for sunburn. You ought to keep this in the kitchen. If you have a burn and you burn yourself, the best item that I've ever found is just pour lavender on it. It's extremely good for burns. Yes, let's say you ride motorcycles with short pants and you burn your leg. Keep it on your, pour it on there. If you get any kind, it's great for the kitchen, for burns or sunburns. Tachycardia, what's tachycardia? Fast heart rate. Teeth grinding, calms them down. Teeth pain, tension, thrush. Ticks, keeps ticks off of you. That's why folks use it for their pets. Leg ulcers, varicose ulcers. Vertigo. We use a product, it's for vertigo, which has lavender in it. Lavender is very, very good for vertigo. Literally, it's got 3 essential oils in it, and lavender's one. And they put just 1 drop behind the ear, and within 5 minutes, vertigo is gone. Literally gone. And we use a combination of 3. Withdrawals, it's good for worms, wounds, and, there you go, ladies, wrinkles. Sounds like you just need 1 oil, doesn't it? Isn't that huge? Do some research. It's amazing. Get you a good essential oil book and learn how to use it. Isn't it cool what God has given us? And lavender is not an essential, not an expensive oil as some of the others. Okay? Lavender safety, safe for neat application. When in doubt, use lavender. Yeah. The other one is when in doubt, use frankincense. But frankincense is a little bit more money. Yes?
I read somewhere that you should use lavender on children. Is that true?
On children, there are some essential oils you want to be careful with children. Lavender, we've never had a problem with lavender. Eucalyptus, was it peppermint? No, peppermint is one you have to be careful with. What's that? It's hot. But lavender, on my grandson, my boy will put, Walter will put lavender on his feet. And feet are a great way to put it on you if you don't like it. Like, that's right. Let's say oil of oregano, one of my favorite. And you don't want to put it, P.O., or drink it, just put it on your feet. It will transdermally go right in your feet into your blood. And so lavender, we put it on actually my grandson asks for it before going to bed. Walter puts in a little roller ball. He does like a 1-to-1 lavender with fractionated coconut oil, rubs it on Kyler's feet, and it helps him sleep. Yeah. Okay, eucalyptus. Eucalyptus is another, y'all, we grew up in the South. What has eucalyptus in the South? As an extract. North Carolina, I'll give you a tip. I think it's Winston-Salem or Greensboro. Starts with a V. What? Vicks. That's correct. Vicks is a very, very good product. The problem with Vicks is it's a petroleum jelly. So you can make your own Vicks by getting an unpetroleum jelly and putting the eucalyptus.
For babies.
Vicks?
Yeah, because there's nobody can tell why it happened.
So you're saying Vicks is good for hiccups?
No, I'm asking.
Oh, what is good for hiccups?
Or just any one of them.
There was something just... Yes. Now I'm trying to remember which one it is. I will find. Yes. Okay. Extraction method is steam distillation from leaves. And there's over 200 types, I believe, of eucalyptus trees. There's a lot of different types of eucalyptus trees. Common application methods can be applied neat or dilute 1-to-1 for children and those with sensitive skin, where you use a fractionated, say, coconut oil. Diffuse or inhale the aroma directly. It's an analgesic, antibacterial, antiviral. Viruses. That's a problem out there today. Viruses. We have antibiotics pharmaceutically. We don't have good antivirals. So eucalyptus is an antiviral. It's a catalyst, disinfectant, expectorant, hypotensive, insecticidal. It's good for bugs. We use it for asthma. How many of y'all know what albuterol is? Y'all know what albuterol is? I've had 2 surgeons that taught me to use eucalyptus instead of albuterol. And what these surgeons did is they would take a patient. I'm telling you a story. I'm not telling you to do it. But I can tell you a lot of folks come and get eucalyptus for this. Albuterol has side effects. Albuterol can be expensive if they don't have good insurance. And so what these 2 surgeons would do is they would take a nebulizer and they would put distilled water in the nebulizer, and they would put 2 drops of eucalyptus oil. Good quality eucalyptus oil. You're breathing this right into your lungs. You want 100%, y'all. You don't want an 80-90% of something else going into your lungs that you don't know what is. 100%. And they just inhale or breathe the nebulizer, and people tell me it works better than the albuterol. Okay, so we have a person who has knowledge. Yes. Asthma, bronchitis, cancer. It's good for cancer, so it's anti-cancer. It's good for cellulite, colds, congestion, coughs. Can you see why they use it in Vicks that way? Disinfectant. My grandmother didn't go anywhere 365 days a year without her Vicks. She's used it on, if you had a cough, she had it, if you had a sore throat, she'd say, "Open up, boy." And she'd come up to you, she'd stick her finger in it, and she'd stick it down your throat and say, "Swallow it." Petroleum jelly. But I tell you, it got rid of that sore throat. I don't know if it's the petroleum or the Vicks. Congestion, coughs, disinfectant, dust mites, earaches, fever, flu, kidney stones, malaria, mental sluggishness, muscle fatigue. So if you're a little sluggish mentally today, breathe that eucalyptus and it can help with that mental sluggishness. Muscle fatigue, pain, pneumonia, respiratory problems, shingles, and sinusitis. For shingles, I've never used eucalyptus for shingles. What I'll tell you that just knocks the home run every time. We actually just had a nurse come in about 3-4 weeks ago with shingles. She was a retired nurse, worked for one of the doctors in town, one of the prominent physicians. And she came in with shingles. She tried everything. She went to him. Nothing would work getting rid of these shingles. And so we did, it's Dr. Agatha, one of her protocols she taught me years ago. And that is 800 milligrams of olive leaf extract twice a day. 800 milligrams olive leaf extract twice a day. A castor oil pack on the affected area. Warm castor oil pack on the affected area. And B complex for the stress. Stress exacerbates the shingles. Makes them worse. A nurse who now still works for that doctor came in, and she said, "What you did for," we'll call her Susie, it worked. And just like the next day, the effect was gone. She says she came into the office, and she said, both of us told that doctor, what we're working doesn't work. If we get any more patients in here with shingles, send them down to the mustard seed, because that works a whole lot better than what we're giving them. Isn't that neat, God's plan, how well it works? I would do B complex 100, 1 per meal.
Coming from the islands, we use eucalyptus
Yes. With honey? Okay.
in a tea.
Okay.
And the worst cold, you drink that within 1 or 2 days. It's fine.
Okay, so how much leaves do you put in the glass?
I had the oil.
You had okay, so how much oil would you use in a cup?
We never measure anything, so
So you're like Mary Lou. Mary Lou's a dump cook.
we know it by instinct.
Yes. Okay, so what do you think? 1 or 2 drops, along with how much honey?
Maybe 1 teaspoon, depending on the
Okay.
person.
And you're using it for what?
For if they have very bad cold
Okay.
or very bad flu,
Okay.
and it's very severe,
Yes.
and it knocks that thing out completely.
Okay. For our tape, for people who have the flu or the cold in the islands, the Caribbean, Jamaica, Virgin Islands, you use a cup of water, 1 to 2 drops of eucalyptus essential oil, and 1 to 2 teaspoons of honey, and it knocks it out. Isn't that cool? I would apply it over the kidneys, so it transdermally goes in. I would do it 4 times a day. Yes. Safety, dilution recommended. Eucalyptus is hot, and so you can mix it with a carrier oil. So there can be possible skin sensitivity. Peppermint, another one that folks use a lot. Extraction method, steam distilled from leaves. Common application, can be applied neat or diluted, 1 to 1 with a carrier oil. Diffused or inhaled aroma directly, orally, flavoring food and beverages. I failed to mention something. If you use an essential oil orally, do not put it in plastic. I'll say that again. If you use it orally, do not put it in plastic, because the essential oil is so powerful, it can start breaking the plastic down, and you're now getting some of that plastic. So either use it in glass, or I have a stainless steel water bottle that I use. So if I'm using something like this, I don't put my essential oil in here. But when I get to work each morning, I will get a bottle of, I have a bottle. It's a 20-ounce stainless steel bottle, and I put 2 drops of peppermint. Probably 1 would be plenty. 2 wakes you up. And we have a gal that works for us. She's in high school. She's a senior. And she came to me about a month ago, and she said, I have to drink coffee to wake up in the morning to go to school. What can I do? Give me something that I can do to increase my energy in the mornings. So I shared with her that. She just puts 1 drop in a glass. She doesn't drink coffee anymore, and it wakes her up to go to school. So it's, and so you'll see what it does here. It can be applied neat or diluted, diffused or inhaled aromally, inhale it directly, orally, or flavoring in foods or beverages. So let me go back one there. When I do a smoker's blend, and it's good for other addictions, and it is 3/4 of a cup of lemon juice, 3/4 of a cup of lemon juice, 1/4 of a cup of honey, and 1/3 of a teaspoon of peppermint essential oil. Mix it up and take a nip anytime you get a hankering, and it works very, very well. Do y'all know who does not know what hankering is? A desire for. It's an analgesic, anti-inflammatory, antispasmodic. It's has a cooling effect. It's an expectorant. It's invigorating, stimulating. is a vasoconstrictor, it's warming. So, if a person has high blood pressure, do you give them peppermint? No, not at all. It's kind of like if a person has, let's say a person has ED and they're taking Viagra and they're having a cardiac event, say angina, you don't also give them nitroglycerin because you're giving them way too much of a vasodilator, and literally you can lose that patient doing CPR on them because the vessels dilate so much you don't have enough volume of fluid. And so you can make it be too much volume. You can make it too narrow. And so with hypertension, you want to dilate that. You don't want to constrict it. So you don't want a vasoconstrictor. It's also warming. Okay, it's good for alertness. Helps awake you in the morning. It's good for allergies, asthma, autism, bad breath. But let's go to what's the cause of bad breath. Yes. Could be dehydration, bacteria in the stomach. I had a guy come in the other day. This guy's running for state office. Have you ever smelt someone's breath that you know something bad is going on in the gut? I mean, we're talking not stomach. It is bad. This guy, he's sick. Burns. So peppermint can also be used for burns, colon health, cravings. So that's why it's good for the smoker's blend. Digestive discomfort. If you have a person who comes in and they're having some problems with digestion comfort, it may be gastritis. It might be problems with reflux or whatever. Put just a drop of peppermint in their water and they can drink it. Clove. Yes, sure can. Clove is very powerful stuff. Sure is. It's great for toothaches. Energy. So can you see why I put it in my water first thing in the morning? It's giving me mental alertness. It's giving me energy. It's also good for fevers. It's good for nauseousness. Let's say you do a colon cleanse on somebody. Roy, what have I got? Okay. So if a person has, they've got problems with nauseousness, then you can put some peppermint and it calms that down. Gamma radiation exposure, gastritis, headaches, hives, hot flashes, loss of sense of smell. We've been working on that, trying to help folks with smell. We haven't proved that one yet. We're working on that. It's good for memory, migraines, milk supply. It decreases milk supply. Now, I talk a lot on these about lactation because I'm a huge believer in breastfeeding. It's phenomenal, the benefits. So any way I can help a mother with breastfeeding. But if a mother is breastfeeding, she does not want to use peppermint. Muscle stiffness, sinusitis, peppermint safety, dilute for topical application, avoid at night. Why? Energy. Yeah. Okay, we're going to go this next one real quick. Let's go to another one. Let's keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Let's do tea tree. Okay, tea tree, which is also called melaleuca, we're going to go fast. Steam distillation from leaves, common application, can be applied neat, diffuse, or inhale in the aroma directly, or you can take it in capsules. It's an analgesic, antibacterial, antifungus, antiparasitic, antiseptic, antiviral, decongestant. Do you see the benefits of tea tree? It is a very, very powerful it's a very powerful essential oil. I mean, it's great as an antibacterial, antifungal, antiparasitic, antiseptic, and antiviral. It's a great tool to have. It's good for acne. You can use it directly for acne, athlete's foot. It's good for bacteria, bronchitis, candida, canker sores. You got a canker sore? Stick some some tea tree on there. Another thing it's really good for a canker sore is thieves, or the other one is on guard. On guard or thieves, same thing, just two different companies. Cavities, cold sores, colds, cuts, dandruff, diarrhea, ear infections, flu, gum disease, hives, itchy eyes, lice, MRSA, pink eye, rashes, scabies. It's good for a person who's shock, sore throat, staph infections, tonsillitis, viruses, and wounds. Tea tree oil is a tremendous tool to have in your medical missionary kit. Safety tips, safe for neat application. Let's try one more real quick. Vetiver. Oh yeah, Vetiver. There's that good one. Extract is steam distillation from the root. It comes from the root. Common application methods can be applied neat, diffused, or inhaled aroma directly. Antiseptic, antispasmodic, immunostimulant, rubefacient, sedative, stimulant, tonic, and vermifuge. It's tremendous for ADD and ADHD. Don't give the kids the drugs. It's anorexia, anxiety, breast enlargement, concentration, depression, focus, insomnia, irritability, learning difficulties, poor retention, postpartum depression, PTSD, scars, stretch marks, tuberculosis, and vitiligo. Safety, safe for neat. And there's one last one I'll talk about. I don't have it on this one. I can't pronounce it very well. Who has a Spanish tongue? Anybody? How do you pronounce copaiba? Copaiba? Some people pronounce it copaiba, but it's copaiba. How would you pronounce that? No, copaiba tree. Yes. It comes from a tree. They take it from the tree between 30 and 50 years old. Study copaiba. It is amazing. Copaiba. Do you know how to spell it? Okay. Copaiba. It works like cannabis oil, but it's not cannabis. And so it's great for seizures. We've got a guy who has major seizures, like grand mal seizures. He's been 180, 190 days, no seizures. And he had multiple seizures a day. We use it for also for shaking. Works very good for shaking, Parkinson type shaking. We use it for, it's very, very good for arthritis. What else, Mary Lou? This is a new one that we're using.
I'll tell you what it's good.
Go for it.
Okay. So, one of the reasons that I bought it,
Yes?
I had a root canal.
Mm-hmm.
And I never could get a crown. And so I could keep having that pain and I wanted to get infected. And I can just put it on there and it's gone.
Yeah.
It clears up the infection and there's no pain there anymore.
Yes. Copaiba it's
2 drops under the tongue once a day.
yeah, it's phenomenal. Yeah, do some studying on copaiba. That is an oil that it's hard to even get because there's just the supply and demand is such an issue. Okay, thank you all very much. Roy, would you like to say anything? Okay, shall we close with prayer? Our dear Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you for these herbs that you've given us, that we can use medicinally, that we can address the needs that we have. Help us to remember lifestyle. We must do lifestyle. But you've given us these tools to also use. Again, not just for ourselves, but we can use it to help people, our neighbors, our friends, our coworkers, our friends' family, that we can show it is not the copaiba, it is not the eucalyptus, it is not the lavender that's healing, but it is you. And help us to be able to use that tool to show your love and your healing power. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. Yes. Okay, real quick, write this down. You can go to a series right now. It's called Old Mountain Remedies, which covers a lot of Old Mountain Remedy things and stress and how to address diabetes and cardiovascular disease. This coming, okay, let me tell you where to go to that. Go to YouTube, Amazing Discoveries. Y'all have heard of Amazing Discoveries. Roy, you should just upload these things to your website. Amazing Discoveries, because there's a lot of folks that are doing it. Go to Amazing Discoveries and then put Walt Cross. Now, I have a friend. Now, you doctors in here, this is cool. This is really cool. I have a friend. He's a gastroenterologist, and here's what he does. You come to him, and you have problems, and he says, okay, you can take prednisone. Here's the side effects. You can take Imuran, Acecol. Here's the side effects. But if you do this, nutrition, exercise, water, and his prescription is the New Start program. Then here's what's cool he does. Okay, this isn't the cool part. I'll show you the cool part. And then he says, on the bottom of the prescription, he says, I want you to go and learn how to do this. And so you go to YouTube, Amazing Discoveries, Walt Cross. That's not the cool thing. And so he has them watch 6 YouTube programs on how to apply what he's taught them. But this is the cool part. When they come back next time, he says, okay, are you doing the nutrition component? Are you eating this way, exercising, drinking this much water? He says, did you watch this Walt Cross? Yes, we watched that. Great. Now, I've got another Walt that I want you to watch. His name's Walter Veith. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool how he does that? And see, now I want you to start watching Walter Veith. It's some really good information there. See how the right hand is the arm that allows the gospel in? That's what's cool. And so this coming, we've already shot it, but it should come out this end of spring, first of summer. It's called the Herb Cabinet. There's like 4.5 hours where we're going through herbs in general. There's 3.5 hours that we're doing essential oils. We're teaching how to make fomentations. There's we're doing spit poultices, cold poultices, hot poultices, fomentations, herbal fomentations. We're also teaching how to do extracts, how to make extracts. And so that series will be coming out shortly. And so you can go to YouTube, Amazing Discoveries, Walt Cross, and you can see that. But it's that Amazing Discoveries. Has everybody watched Amazing Discoveries? Great program and a great ministry. They just moved from Vancouver up about 4.5 hours north. And so we're in transition right now. So plus, here's another thing. Walter Veith just did a series on the Reformation, a brand new series. And so they're editing that right now. And so when that's finished, then they'll start working on the Herb Cabinet series. There's what? Oh, okay. You want U.S.? Okay. Yes, they're in Canada. Yes, Canada. Okay. So is that what you were talking about, Roy? Okay, great. Thank y'all very much. Pardon? The second series will be out in a couple months. Yeah, but they're having to move and everything, so that's why it's taking a little while. Okay. Walter Veith. Help me spell, y'all. How to spell? Walter Veith. Excellent speaker. Excellent speaker.
Veith.
Yeah.
Walter.
Yes.
You have for breast reduction. My daughter is young and she is so huge. We're thinking about having surgery.
Yes, ma'am.
How can I get, where are you located?
Physically or only physically?